indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. I hit it too hard.
Beichman,
Present.
Biesinger,
Present.
Voss,
Present.
Ekis,
Present.
Fry,
Present.
Gross,
Cindy.
Troller,
Present.
Crom.
Present.
We have a quorum.
That was my gavel. Sorry, Cindy.
Yep. Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you. All right, the first item is approval of minutes from the January 9th meeting that are in the packet. I did not have any amendments.
Move to approve the minutes of the regular meeting.
Oh, I skipped roll call. No, we did roll call. We did roll call without the, I'm sorry. All right,
Second.
move ahead with, what was your motion?
Move to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
I second it. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0, thank you very much. We'll have public comment.
Can I have a second of your time?
Yes.
If you would. Join me right down there.
In front there?
Yes, please.
Oh, it's technology, not me.
There's a button.
Okay. Press the button, but I don't know.
In light of our recent successes as a community and being named one of the top 5 Kansas small towns in Kansas, as well as a named picturesque town of Kansas by USA Today, I want to present this to you, Mayor Carla Grun, and it says it right there.
Awesome, that's beautiful, thank you.
And this is for you to show, put in your house. I have one exactly like it sitting right out here above the light switch as you walk out. So
Wow, well
That one
that's
has your name on it?
amazing. I hope you guys all saw this article. Amazing. It's on my coffee table, so now it'll be on my wall. Thank you.
you're welcome.
You know, last meeting was almost my birthday. Expect gifts tonight. Thank you again.
You're
That was very thoughtful.
Yep.
All right, and here comes Vicki. Glad you made it.
Sorry I'm late there.
You just missed my gift, so I'll show it to you after the meeting. All right, back to public comments. Is there someone that would like to share that's not on the agenda?
I'm Brenda Stagenborg with the Marysville Chamber of Commerce. I apologize for the late request. I filled out a consumption request form and gave it to Debbie this morning. The Chamber of Commerce is sponsoring a mixer on Wednesday at the Leadam Arts Center, and originally we were not going to have some beer and wine, but we have since decided we would like to, with your approval for the consumption request. It would be, starts at 5 o'clock, 6:30-ish to 7 at the very latest, probably 6:30.
And she did fill out the form. Does anybody want to see this basic information?
Move to approve the consumption request for the Leadam Arts Center.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Hey,
Opposed? 8-0.
okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, good luck. All right, Mr. Mullins, did you want to share?
I'm coming to you because I did get my homework finished in time. So I had every intention of sending you guys a personal letter inviting you to the ribbon cutting and open house ceremonies this weekend, and that just didn't happen. I've been down with the crud and pretty busy. But the construction projects they're wrapping up this week at both the elementary school and in the old high school gym. We have ribbon cutting ceremony scheduled for 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon at the elementary school. And then we're going to follow that up with a 3:30 ceremony at the high school auditorium. Just wanted to come out and make sure that you guys were personally invited to come join us. We think it's a great space for our kids and our community, and we can't wait to show it off. And so we'd like to invite all of you to come out and take a look.
Well, I did go through with Rotary, and it does look like a brand-new building. The old, I hate to say the word old now, but the old high school gym is pretty amazing. So thank you for the invitation, and I hope everyone can make it
You know, what?
Okay,
on
thank
Sunday,
you.
this Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday at 2 o'clock at elementary, we'll be in the Commons area, and then 3:30 we'll be in the high school auditorium.
All right.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Is there anyone else with public comments?
Good evening. I'm Karen Hughes, and I reside at 969 Jayhawk Road in Ward 2. And I noticed that in tonight's City Administrator's report is information about COMA and CORA training and the question about whether or not to pursue having this training. I would strongly encourage the council to approve the COMA-CORA League training for the entire City Council, as well as the members of the city government serving on city committees and city commissions. The Kansas statutes subject all members of the city government to COMA regulations. Having an opportunity to attend locally would be extremely beneficial for everyone involved in city government. Knowledge and understanding of the Kansas Open Meetings Act and the Kansas Open Record Act should be a high priority. So I would hope that the City Council does approve this COMA and CORA League training for our city. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Are there any other public comments? We'll move along to the business and discussion items. Wayne, would you like to come up?
Good evening. I'm Wayne Cruzy on behalf of Convention and Tourism. We have a number of requests in front of you this evening, so I'll go over highlights. If you need additional information, you can certainly ask. We need to amend the amount of money that we need to finish the interpretive site for the Black Squirrels on Parade project. We have that fantastic donation from the Love account, but our local PEO chapter on Friday decided to donate $500 to the project, which is awesome. So we, from our Convention and Tourism Transient Guest Tax Fund, we will just need $418 to complete this whole process. Debbie, did we include the letter from Traub Associates in there? Yeah, so you know who we're working with. And you'll remember when we started on Black Squirrels on Parade, it was two-pronged to get people excited about our city's mascot, but then to help them understand why are we Black Squirrel City. So this interpretive site will help do that. And a special thanks to Landau Corporation for helping us with like the frames that the placards will go in.
And I sent you an email this morning just asking you to make sure who is reviewing what's going on the plaques.
So Sharon Kessinger is overseeing the collection of all of the information, and then we turn it over to Traub, and they're the ones who go through everything to figure out, okay, what needs to be put on the sign? What pictures are we going to have there, or symbols, or drawings, and then it'll come back to us, and it'll be a back and forth. So you had said, can someone from
I just wanted someone in the city, and
Yeah.
Convention and Tourism is the city. I just want to make sure that someone from the city was overseeing what was on it and everything. So.
Yeah, and it'll go back to our Black Squirrel Committee, which is still Main Street Chamber and Convention and Tourism, so.
Okay, great.
Destination State House is twofold. One, Michelle's going to go to Destination State House. She's going to make it a two-day event. On the first day that she's there, she's making appointments with some of the tourism officials and people with TIAC so she can get to know them. She's taking care of her own lodging, and then we're asking to cover her registration. We also feel it's important for us to be aware of what's going on at the state level, so we said that we would pay for registration for any of the committee members that want to go. There are 10 committee members. Maybe 4 will attend. So it's not like we're paying $850, maybe 4 of them will be going. Social media promotion, we did something similar to this a couple of years ago. We gave 502 Media, when we had a contract with them, we gave them $600 to spend how they saw fit throughout the year, so they could boost some of our Facebook stuff, so they could do other kind of promotion in different social media platforms. So this is just giving Michelle the ability for this year to boost posts, etc. The tourist promotions, this would be for things like letter openers or keychains or goodies that Brenda would have at her office, that Michelle would have at her office, that we can give to tourists as they come. If someone's bringing a convention to town and they want some Marysville goodies, this would all come from this fund. As Michelle is working on the website, we are going to need some high-quality photographs. I think it came to our attention when we were featured in Kansas Magazine that we don't have a lot of high-resolution photographs that showcase the city, and so we need to make sure that we have quality photographs. We'd like them to be seasonal, to choose some of our favorite spots and to have them shot, you know, summer, fall, spring, winter. So we'll be working with some of our local photographers to help us get those photographs. We need a shelving unit to store. We're starting to acquire stuff, and so in order for her to stay organized in our new office, she needs a shelving unit. And Brenda made us aware that we are almost out of cases of water. We have plenty of the pretty labels that go around the water. They've already been paid for. We just need to order 20 more cases so that we can give that out to different groups that stop in town, etc. So those would be a quick highlight. I can certainly offer more information if you need it.
Okay, go ahead.
I have a question, Wayne. On your first request, the Destination State House, members will pay their own lodging and travel, I get that, but it says registration day, 35, registration night, 50. So are we doing it by day, are we doing it by night? Is it
It'll
30?
depend upon the person. Of the 4 people that can go, someone might go to the $50 one at night,
Okay.
and someone might go to the $35 one of the day. So it's an $85 for the whole day, but you can also split it day versus night.
And you're going to have 4 people for sure, up to 4 people?
No, I honestly, Vicki, I bet we're not going to have anyone, but in case someone's able to, we'd like to have the budget authority to go to
So we
that.
can do a maximum of 340 there and be safe, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And put it in
you
there?
can, yes.
So will you make sure that's in the, that it's
put
at
that in there.
340? And then the amended amount for the interpretive sign?
$418.
Yeah, so when you guys make a motion, it'll have to include the, do you pronounce it Traub? Traub sign, as well as items A through G as amended. That's the easiest way to do it. If you want to do them all at once, or if you want to do them individually, that's fine.
Move to approve Convention and Tourism's request for Destination State House, $85, Destination State House registration fees, social media promotion up to $250 for 2017, tourist promotion up to $350, photography for the website, $300, shelving unit up to $125, water, 20 cases, $144, plus, what was it? The Traub design proposal, $418. That's my motion.
All right, is there a second? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Did I hear an aye? So it's 7-1. All right, Wayne.
Thank you very
much.
Thank you, Wayne.
All right, the next item is Maria. I saw Maria come in. Good to see you.
Good evening, Mayor, City Administrator, City Clerk, and Council. My name is Maria Seamatter, 810 Carolina, Ward 3, and I am the former Aquatic Center Manager. I'm coming to you tonight for reconsideration and allowing me to continue to hold CPR certification classes for our community. A little back history. Originally, I did the CPR first aid AED training for the lifeguarding staff at the Aquatic Center. About that time that I started doing that, the hospital quit doing their certifications, and they have not done that for about 2.5 years. They knew I was certified to teach and that there was a demand in the community, so they referred people to me to teach that, and at that time, upon my request, it was council's desire for me to do those public certifications because there was such a need in the community. Since March of 2015, not including any of the lifeguarding classes that I've taught, I have certified 65 people in CPR, AED first aid, and recertified 71 people. All of these people are in our community and surrounding communities, and that puts my mind at ease knowing that as many people as possible could take steps to save my life or any of yours if the need arose. I have certified the Oquito Fire Department, the Marysville Fire and Police Departments, local businesses, daycare providers, and teachers, to name a few. Presently, I get at least 3 calls weekly from somebody needing that certification or recertification. Presently, the hospital still is not doing certifications. They send their employees to a lady in Washington that does them because they require American Heart Association certifications. And then the hospital sends community referrals to me. So at this time, when I'm getting the calls, I'm forwarding them on to the instructor in Washington to see if she can't pick up that slack. There is a need for this in our community. We have the equipment. Council purchased mannequins and all of the supplies needed to teach those back in 2013. And we have the instructor, myself, to provide this much-needed service right here in our community. And I feel we have a responsibility to continue to provide this service, especially those that need renewal that we have certified. I also understand your desire to let the future pool manager do this if they are certified, and I agree with that. But I also know that we have 6 months until that position is filled, and we have about 50 people coming up for renewal, including the Oquito Fire Department who contacted me last week. I am passionate about doing this, and I'm asking you to allow me to provide this service until the new manager is either qualified or settled in to provide this additional service. But just so you are aware, the pool manager would not only need to be a certified lifeguard, but a lifeguard instructor to be able to perform this certification and certification to the lifeguards. So at this time, my request for you is to approve this proposal for me to continue to teach the classes until that time that you have somebody else that would be qualified to do that. Does anybody have any questions?
I do. I was going to ask a couple of questions first. When I looked in the general ledger, I noticed that last year in CPR, there was $7,400 of CPR revenue in the swimming pool sales tax fund.
Yeah.
And it was made up of different recertifications and certifications. Were recertifications $30?
Recertifications are $35, yes, they're $30. They will need to be raised to $35 because the Red Cross took a little bit of an increase. A full certification for CPR is $55. That includes CPR, first aid, AED, and then the recertification was $30. And yes, there was $7,400 that was attributed to the pool fund, which I think is a huge contribution to that bottom line.
So the certification, the initial certification was $55?
Yes, and the certification
because some of them I
is
saw,
good for
like
2
there was
years.
$180, but that was for several people?
That's lifeguarding. The 180 would be lifeguarding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and so last year, I guess we just paid you as your salary
Yeah.
while you did this?
Yes.
So the recertifications, how long did that take you?
Usually a recertification class takes between 2.5 to 3 hours, and a full certification class between 5 and 6, generally 5.
Okay. And then there were also costs in the general ledger for like manuals?
Yes, manuals are provided, they originally were provided in that $55. Now with the increase that the Red Cross is taking, I think that that should become an optional fee that a participant would pay in addition to. The supplies is, we use reusable masks to put over the mannequins so that the participants can breathe into the mannequins, and then gloves, which is the personal protection equipment, and that, amounts to about $3 per participant, but is figured into that cost. When we set the cost for that, we incorporated the Red Cross fee, the supplies, and what the wage would cost for the instructor to teach.
So was it basically a break even to the pool?
No, it's not. It wasn't a break even, and of course it depends on how many participants, but it wasn't a big, huge money maker, but we never lost money holding the class. And we set a minimum, I think a minimum of 10 participants for a full certification class and a minimum of 6 for a recert was not our break even, but we made just a little bit of money on that.
So are your proposal is to use the city's equipment?
Yes.
And was there any compensation to the city at all for that, or you were just hoping to use it and we were to do it for a community benefit, or?
Generally, what my idea was is that I would just continue, if it agrees with council, you would just continue to pay me that rate. I would use the equipment, the city room, and then you guys get all the money, you pay the supply, or the Red Cross fees and everything.
Oh, okay. Would we want to do that? Because she wouldn't be an employee then.
She'd be a contractor.
It'd be another contract employee, like we would hire, like if we hired Red Cross to come in and do that sort of thing. But
so she'd really have to set up her own business.
Yeah, she'd have to set. Do you have an LLC?
No, and it would have to be, I would have to continue to be a city employee in order to do that.
Okay.
So.
And is there any, is that okay or not okay?
I really don't, just hiring her back on as a city employee.
As a CPR instructor, I guess that would be her title, would be a...
Yeah.
Right.
It'd be another pool staff. I bet you that would be basically what she would be quantified as a pool staff.
And so when you did this, you would still bill to an amount that the city would make a little bit, at least cover all the expenses and everything?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, from a community standpoint, it's probably a good benefit to have instead of her pushing everybody to Washington. And our pool staff, hopefully we'll have a pool staff, we'll probably need certification as well. So, okay, Vicki, you had some questions?
You're certified in these different areas, lifeguard instructor. How long does your certification last?
My certification is good as long as I teach a class. My instructor certification is good indefinitely. I have to remain a lifeguard in order to have that lifeguard instructor certification, and I will do that. I will continue to do that.
Where are you going to lifeguard?
I don't have to lifeguard anywhere.
Well, I thought you said you had to lifeguard in order to keep that.
I have to have a lifeguard certification.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's indefinite, just as long as you're teaching lifeguards? Uh-huh. So you send in your hours to somebody to show that you have...
Well, you report your certifications on the Red Cross system, and that's how they keep track.
Okay.
So as long as we don't lose money on the process, and it's a community service, and we already have all the materials, we wouldn't have to buy anything, and any supplies would be built into the cost of the program, right?
Yeah, and like I said, it's minimal as far as the gloves and masks. And if somebody wants to purchase a manual, if somebody wants to purchase, they have a handheld carry mask that you can carry with you, that's completely out of their pocket. We would still order it through the city, but the participant would pay for that.
So you don't see any problem with her being an employee of the pool for CPR training?
Especially it's a seasonal thing. Everybody's looking for their CPR certification or their whatever she's teaching around the pool season.
And you as well? You don't see any problem? Okay. Well, would someone like to entertain a motion?
Do we need to have a rate, or are we just approving the concept of a part-time?
Well, would we go back? We would go back to paying you per hour, right? The
Correct.
$13 per hour, and then you would build the rate in to make sure and you'd come back and prove that to us. Maybe send us.
I'll send you a
You can give us a
breakdown.
little recap, and you can include it in the information. You don't have to come back.
Yeah, I'll send Debbie the breakdown.
Okay, just to make sure we're covered.
Can we wait until we see that to vote?
The hourly rate? You want to,
You can approve it pending the...
Have you determined what your rates are going to be yet?
Well, the rates for the classes?
Yeah.
Well, it would, like I said, it would stay the same. It would be $55 for a full certification, and that recertification would go up to $35.
So you fear that it won't be a break even, or? Okay.
Well, on an hourly rate, we'd need to know, well, like you said, it's 5 to 6 hours for a certification, and what, 3.5 to teach a class to recert? Did that sound right to you, Maria?
3 on a recert. I've broken it down on a recert. If you had a minimum of 6 participants, with the instructor fee, the Red Cross fee, the gloves and the mask, the city would make a profit of around $20. Now, that's not a lot of money. That's on a minimum class of 6 participants. On a full certification, though, with a minimum of 10 participants, the city's going to make $115 on a class.
Well, so you could make a motion saying to pay her $13, knowing the class, with the minimum class of 6 for research and 10 for certifications. You could make a motion to that effect, just to instruct you how we want it done.
And what we did in the past, and there were several months where we had scheduled a class and we didn't have that minimum participant, so we canceled the class. So we're not going to hold a class for 3 people.
Or you could say $13 with the minimum requirements as stated or something.
You've got 50 people already that are coming up for research?
Yes.
So would you take more than a class of 10?
Well,
or would you do 5 classes for those people?
Now, I would try to maximize. Now, and I guess I didn't say anything about this, but like a maximum class would be 20 participants. There's no way I could do a class bigger than that. In the past, Cheyenne always helped me with that big of a class, because then you've got your 2 sets of eyes making sure that the compressions are being administered correctly and all of that stuff. So if you would be willing to allow her to help if we had a bigger class, otherwise I would probably max a class out at 12 to 15 if I did it by myself, because that's a lot of people to keep eyes on.
Okay, that's all the questions I have.
$13 an hour is the rate? Okay, we don't have to have that in it. We just approve that now?
I think we can approve that now.
Okay, I'd move to approve the hire Marie as a part-time pool staff at $13 an hour to teach CPR certification classes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? 8-0. All right, thank you, Maria. Thank you for providing that service.
Thank you very much. It's very
I'm
beneficial.
sure you'll work well with our pool manager, whoever
I am
that may
sure
be.
I will. Thank
So,
you.
Thank you. All right, moving along, ordinance number 1851. I only had one comment, and I guess I never followed up with this, but included on our holiday list in the personnel policy is the Friday after Thanksgiving. And I asked the question if there was a reason why it wasn't listed. Is there a reason?
Missed it.
Do you want it in there? I mean,
Yeah,
you
we
do.
can add it with that.
Okay, so I would just say approving this, including the Friday after Thanksgiving listed under the restricted burial policy days.
Move to approve ordinance 1851 with an addendum to it that says that on the restricted burial policy, the Friday after Thanksgiving is included in it.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Beichman?
Yes.
Biesinger?
Yes.
Boss?
Yes.
Ekis?
Yes.
Fry?
Yes.
Gross?
Yes.
Schroller?
Yes.
Throm?
Yes.
It's 8-0.
All right, thank you very much. All right. Austin, do you want to talk about the floodplain ordinance that Dave Richardson spoke about?
Yeah. Right now, we are, with the change in the floodplain, what did we say? Kansas Department of Agriculture is asking that, or not asking, saying that we need to update our ordinance on the floodplain. Basically, what we have in the book is 80% of what they're saying should be in our book. They made updates since it's 16 years old, new language, and basically the process on this is they gave us a boilerplate template for the ordinance that they give out to everybody, had us update our information into it, then we send it back to them, and they go, yeah, that's all good. And then eventually we will, let's see, it's either...
So they approved the revisions,
Yeah,
and so now it goes to,
it goes to, is it, no, I'm forgetting the processes. It goes to the planning commission for a public hearing. So that, we give a 30-day notice for a public hearing, and then I believe we'll have it by March if they get it approved, the ordinance that goes into our book. Basically just updating language that's old and updating it.
The only section basically that changed was that down there in the detention.
Right.
Or industrial park area.
Yeah, all that, it just including that language in there as well.
and it's part of the Unified Land Development Code. It's a whole, so they're replacing their entire section, so we'll pull that out and put the new one in.
And trying to make it as unified as possible. So they're taking what's currently there and trying to put it exactly back as it was, as like in that little hole it made. So
it's gonna, the main reason for telling you is that there's gonna be a notice in the paper about the hearing. If you wanna see a copy of what's been proposed.
you can come by and talk to David about that. We have that available.
And then it'll go to the planning commission, they'll hold the hearing, and then it'll come to us once the planning commission has approved it. All right? Okay. There is another consumption request for the Sylvia dinner at the Kester House Museum.
Move to approve Sharon Kessinger's request for consumption for the Kester House Museum Foundation, February 17th, at the Kester House for the Sylvia Dinner, which is a fundraiser for restoration and preservation and programs at the Kester House. Did I say the date? February 17th, yes, 2017.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0. There is nothing on the consent agenda, so the next item is the appropriations ordinance.
Move to approve appropriation ordinance 3643.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Beichman?
Yes.
Biesinger?
Yes.
Voss?
Yes.
Ekis?
Yes.
Fry?
Yes.
Gross?
Yes.
Schroller?
Yes.
Thron? 8-0.
All right. Austin, you're up for your report.
All right, number one on my report is the dump truck bed, well, basically a dump truck as a whole. Included are some quotes from Mid-America Truck Equipment, Landalls, and Gary Jorgensen. All quotes include the labor to transfer the bed from the old truck to the new truck if you choose to purchase it. Gary's and Mid-America's quote also included cost of materials, but Landal's did not. So that quote would inherently go up with the actual work. We also, let's see, Mid-America's quote to transfer the bed from the old truck to the new truck is $35.66, which is the lowest, and it also includes the snowplow transfer as well. On top of the transfer quote, we also asked Mid-America to quote a brand new bed, just for reference, in case, that's just another option. And the new bed with installation was $8,274. This does not include the transfer of the snowplow, which is $1,936. We could, if you wanted to have a completely new machine, including the bed, we could use the proceeds from the sale of the old truck with the bed on it, which Gary believed that just the bed alone would bring the money up on that $2,000, $3,000. So we could use that to offset the cost of a brand new bed. But on the other side of that, we could just take save that money overall. And that's just an option. Gary said the truck bed is in good enough shape and that we currently have, and it would work for years to come, so that there was no problem with transferring it over and it working. I looked at the hydraulics and they were in great condition. Just from my visual inspection, they kept it clean. It just overall working condition is, for the hydraulics as of right now was fairly decent. I also attached the bid from Boss Motors with the detached, the chassis cab that we talked about previously. And I did get an email from you, Brad, talking about if we were going to get a new bed, why not just buy a whole truck on its own. And I looked into that, and I'm sorry I didn't get back with you on that. And I mean, that's a possibility. But I didn't see a dealer in the area. The items, and just from my limited search, were in Pennsylvania, and there's possibility that Kansas City has a commercial truck with a dump bed. But I figured, Boss is right there, so I can look deeper into it if you want me to.
I only asked the question if we were even going to consider a new bed. If we're not going to consider that, it's a non-issue.
And this is, this process is what we're going through with the new fire truck. We bought the chassis cab, and they are assembling. We had somebody else assemble the truck bed. So that's what we're going through right now with that.
Just to clarify, a new bed would cost $82.74, and we'd still have to add the plow to attach it, so it'd be $10,000.
Yes, and there is the thought that we could install the snow plow ourselves. It attached to the front bumper, and Gary was somewhat certain that we could possibly do that ourselves. That is something to look into. If we were to order a new truck, it would take at least 6 weeks to get here, and we can mull that over if that was the way to go, and we could save ourselves. That's an option to save ourselves that $2,000. But
let's say we have to pay to do that. That would be $10,000, and to just have them do it, it was $35.66. So the difference is about $6,700. So selling our truck would have to bring $6,700 more to justify a new bed.
You could look at it dollar for dollar, yes, but you also look at it as I don't know how old that current truck bed is. You're displacing the years on that with a brand new truck bed. That's that.
Yeah, you could look at it like you spent a couple $1,000s to upgrade to brand new.
Yeah.
You can't wash it out. It wouldn't be equal.
Yeah, but like I said, that truck bed is working fine, and I'm not advocating for a brand new truck bed. I'm just putting it out there as an option.
Yeah, I guess my real concern is when I look at the MER for the current year. We're transferring $125,000 into MER, and we've already spent the car, which was $24,000, and the dump truck is $37,000. If we have to do the bed and the tasers, which is later, that's already up to $76,000, so that only leaves $50,000 for the rest of the year, assuming we don't break into last year's MER balance. And we know the street sweeper is out there, and we don't know how much we're gonna have to spend on that. So I would kind of like, if the bed works, I would think we'd wanna save the $6,700 and save the MER that balance. But
And my only question would be hydraulics. Well, I know you looked at that. Is there any way that the hydraulics could go out tomorrow? As soon as we put the new truck bed on there, they go out.
There's always.
Are you talking? So it could be $6,000 to replace the hydraulics.
You don't know what's in the tank. There could be metal shavings.
That could be checked now.
We could get that checked out. Yeah.
Okay. That would be my.
Put some inline
Have a
filters
brand
in
new
it
truck
if it doesn't have it to
and
catch
the bed
that stuff.
So who should check this out when you said that, Bill?
Mid-America.
Mid-America could check
it.
I would be surprised if that wasn't already a part of their transfer, because they probably have to drain that fluid anyways.
And like Kevin said, you can put inline filters in to catch.
Or an external filter or something to trap it on the way by. So okay.
So what would you guys like to do?
I think we need to go with just transferring to bed at this time.
Okay, so we have not voted to do the purchase of the truck yet, which is, I assume it's 36,922?
Yeah, that top number.
The top number, okay.
Yes, and just for clarification, the reason why we only have a Boss Motors quote is because the current truck bed is fit just for it's perfect fit for an F-550. Yeah. The wheelbase matches. So that's the reason why we only have one quote on that, and it matches right up.
And the frame width should be the same too.
Yes, all that should. Otherwise, we'd have another one from Nordis.
Right.
So I would entertain a motion for the truck.
Move to approve the purchase of the truck chassis for the F-550 from Boss Motors for, where's the 30? Oh, there it is. I'm sorry. For $36,922.56 to come out of, I'm sorry.
MER, the municipal
Equipment Reserve.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I abstain because of my business relationship with Boss Motors.
701 then. All right, and then regarding the Mid-America to transfer the bed of the truck.
I just have a question before we go with Mid-America. Landell's is $7,800.
Yep.
And Gary Jorgens is $6,100. And we're going with Mid-America?
Yeah, because it was 35.66.
Okay.
And Landau quoted the number they did because they're not a standard.
They didn't really want to do it.
I'm not gonna say that. And then actually Gary expressed the concern that whether warranties would be held up if he did it.
Okay.
And I mean that's.
And have we dealt with Mid-America before?
Yes, they've done multiple of their trucks.
So we're just looking at local.
Yeah, and that's why we got those two.
Okay.
Move to approve the bid from Mid-America Truck Company to transfer the old gravel body and snowplow and miscellaneous to the new truck.
For a total of $35.66?
Yes, $35.66.
Coming out of the MER?
What's that?
Coming out of
the
the
MER, yeah.
Who was the second?
Second, yeah.
You second that whole thing? Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ada?
Present.
Present. Do you have a business interest?
Well, I buy the materials that would have been going into it to install it at Landau, so it seems like a bit of a conflict.
Oh.
When in
So
doubt, I'd just as soon abstain.
701. Okay. I just want clarification. I was like, and why would that be? Okay. I was like, do you have ownership of Mid-America?
Well, no.
Okay. Moving along.
Next one is truck tires for the vac truck, and I got 3 quotes, one from Mike's OK Tire, Dave's Body Shop, and Farmers Cooperative. Mike's came in lowest at $32.58.70. And the tires are, they're really needed because they're due for it.
Move to approve trucks for the tires for the sewer truck, $3,258.70, be paid out of the sewer fund.
Second.
Okay.
Discussion?
Is there any discussion?
Discussion? Question. Does that truck take all 10 tires at once? And the second question, 8 of the tires are 11R 222.5 and 2 are 315/80R-222.5. One, 8 are 16 ply and the 2 are 20 ply. Why is there a difference? And these all go on the truck at the same time?
The 2 tires are the front tires.
Steer tires.
And they are a little beefier ply-wise, and the other 8 are all back.
Okay.
And they do recommend on a tandem axle that you replace all 8 tires at one time because of the way they wear.
Okay. Well, that was my question.
I didn't ask you, have we replaced these before? I didn't ask you before.
I
I'm
think
sorry.
those are original since we've got the truck.
Yeah, I don't think we've replaced them.
Okay, just curious. Okay, we had a motion and a second to buy them from Mike's OK Tires. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0.
And the Coma Core training, I did talk to Larry Baird. They did take a while to get back to me, but he approximated the cost because he wanted to make sure we were okay with the cost itself. $1,600 for a group of 15. And like I said, this is approximation. When they get down to the numbers itself, it might be a little bit more or less. And then he was pretty firm on the $70 per additional person, because that's materials right there.
Well, I think we should pursue this, and I think that we should strongly encourage someone from each of our committees to be there representing, so they could, our library board, convention and tourism, because they're all under the COMA laws as well. And I'll also go ahead and let the school board and county know that we're having it, so that the more the merrier, and if they're gonna come here.
And the 15 covers pretty much you guys and office staff. Because we deal with Coma Core every day, and I figured office staff as well as maybe Ruth over there would come in and listen to it. So that's where the 15 comes from.
But if, in our committees, I think it's highly recommended, maybe the chairs, encourage the chair people of the committees to come in.
Yes. Well, that'll pretty much fill a group or a class, but I was thinking if we didn't have enough to fill the 15, that we could talk to the county commissioners or the school board, and then they could pay their share, because it's like $106 a person for 1,600, for 15 people, at a cost of $1,600 per class. So they could help diffuse that if we don't
I think we could invite them, and they'd have to give us a hard number and pay for their portion. But their portion would probably be the $70 each, since we're instigating it.
How's the class structured? I mean, is it like a seminar? I mean,
Pretty much. I mean, they come in, they'll have the PowerPoint and the handouts, and Eric Smith, I believe, is probably going to teach it. Representative from the league, and I mean they'll teach a class pretty much.
Okay.
a morning, a day? How does it work?
Oh,
It says April 10th to the 28th. That's kind of open.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it like
I
half a
assume
day? Is it
it's
an evening?
a half day. It's a half day.
Can we make it
Is it Coma half a day and Cora half a day? Then you and I went to...
Yeah, that's true that we did.
Yeah.
Can you find out a little bit more so we know whether to do it on would you want to be doing it on a Saturday?
Saturday or an evening would be awesome.
Okay.
Evening would be too long to do it.
I think it'd be too long for an evening.
We can stay until 2. I'll bring the coffee.
So, we can, because I think that way it will encourage more people from our committees to attend as well, if we can do it on the weekend. Will you ask him if he is willing to do it on the weekend?
Yep, I'll ask him.
Okay, so I would entertain a motion, hoping it to be on a weekend.
I move that we proceed.
Do you have any ideas of which days, I guess? I mean, just, it's a weekend and
Saturdays.
go for it.
There's 2 of them in there.
Easter is in April. What is the date? The 9th?
So it'll be before
The
that.
15th and the 22nd?
Yeah.
Are the 2 Saturdays?
Just from conversation, I'm not going to get, I'll just make sure I'm not getting your hopes up. It didn't sound like they wanted to do weekends. He actually specifically said he tries to get his people home on Fridays. Because we do have a finance training that they're already set up in March. And I asked them, hey, could they co-opt that? Because it's a morning, I think they set it up for the morning. And he said, well, and that was on a Friday.
Well, that training that you talked about, was it a half-day training?
Yeah.
It was a half-day training.
A half day, they could do it in the evening, right? I mean,
That's where he came in and said, I like to get my guys home in on Fridays.
So does that mean Monday through Thursday at night?
I bet you, yeah, something like that.
So like what, from 5 to 10 or 5 to 9? I mean, are they looking at 4 hours and you're out, or?
No, not for this Coma Cora training.
Well, they do have that municipal training.
I can't do it in the middle of the day.
So I think they can probably make it a 4-hour training.
I can't do that.
Coma and Cora, you think?
Yeah.
You guys probably went to the expanded, I mean, there's,
You know, if you had
the in-depth one that you two went to.
Yeah, because it was
and then
half a
there's
day, then a break for lunch, and then the half a day.
It sounded like a half a day affair, because I think that's what sparked me to ask, because they had the finance training. Can you do it on Friday afternoon? And
They prefer not Friday
they prefer not Friday afternoon.
Okay, well,
They
We
don't
have a
prefer,
count-
but they don't actually say no.
we have a council meeting on the 10th, so maybe we could do it that Monday night on the 17th. Between the council meetings on a Monday night. Do you want to aim for that?
I will aim for that.
Yeah, you guys have a problem with that April the 17th? Do it as late in the day as possible, see what they say?
Okay.
Okay, did we make a motion to, you made a motion to proceed, was there a second?
Second.
Second.
Second now.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0, thank you very much. You have something else, Austin?
Yes, I have a couple more things. I neglected to add this onto my report, but we talked about in the workshop the chip and seal rock. And we wanted to at least prepare for 5 loads. And Gary says 1,300 tons of rock would get them prepared for that, because we already have some rock up there. And that's at $31.50 per ton, which brings it to $40,950 total for chip and seal rock. And this is out of the preferred Ziendell quarry. Yep.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yep.
Do you know what we spent last year by chance?
$34.50, I believe.
34?
Yes.
Just the rock?
Yeah, just for the rock, and that's because we got it so late, and that's why we're bringing it up now.
Okay, I think that's a good idea.
Yep.
So do we need to, you've already purchased that,
No, have not purchased that.
so we need a motion
need
to
a
purchase
motion.
that?
Yes.
Move to approve purchasing rock in the amount of $40,900 from Ziendell Quarry.
$950.
$950, excuse me.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have rock
Did you say where we're gonna come from?
from the Z quarry?
Well, no, I
The funds,
Oh, street and highway fund.
street and highway.
That's where all the chip and seal.
yeah.
Z quarry, is that what you're calling it?
Ziendell.
Ziendell?
Yeah. I don't know what the quarry's name is, but that's where it's at. Ziendell.
Okay.
Manhattan.
Yeah.
Anything can be better than the,
Yeah.
we're still
The
dusty.
dust.
It's amazing, we're still like.
I don't think
they
yours is
did it
gonna be
yesterday.
redone,
It's
sorry.
like,
And
In 5 years, we'll have new rock.
I also want to tell everybody, this is not necessarily a voting thing, but I'm sending, just for your information, I'm sending a couple guys to asphalt, road and street maintenance. A couple of Gary's guys, whoever thinks Sam wants to go, because he's pretty sure he's never been to one. And then one more guy, I think we could benefit fairly well. It's going to cost $75 per person.
Where's it
And
at?
it'll be in Lawrence. And it'll be on February 10th.
Okay. So a couple guys want to go, that's good.
Couple guys, yes. And I think that we'd benefit quite well from that. And then-
We have from the concrete schools anyways.
Yes, yeah, I can say that. So, I'm gonna send those guys, and then, I think that's all from my report.
All right. Oh, do you want to mention about what is laid around the desk, taxes and stuff?
Oh, I did distribute the taxes that we received in the month of January thus far. The multi-page one is the ad valorem taxes and motor vehicle taxes from the Marshall County Treasurer, and then from the state, we also received transient guest tax and our special highway funds. And I did notate at the bottom, which was happenstance because I did that for myself. I notated that we increased on the special highway by $764.81 since last year, but we did get less in transient guest tax by $1,859.02 less. As far as the property taxes, I can tell you right offhand, the ad valorem tax for the general fund was approximately $50,000 more, but that's mainly due to our valuation increase.
Or more taxes levied.
Yeah.
Yeah, so percentage-wise, we were the same.
Yeah.
And the only other thing is I wanted to mention it, Austin mentioned in his highlights, they had that emergency meeting, which is wonderful, but do you guys want to know if they're having an emergency meeting about storm or weather conditions? Do you guys want to participate, or you feel like it's okay that we didn't know about it till after the fact?
I think one of us ought to know on the street committee or water committee.
The idea, and I hate to discourage involvement, but the idea was for city staff to know exactly what they're doing. And it was more about the weather update and how much salt we have and stuff like that. To have a city council member come in and sit on a day-to-day operation is counterproductive.
Okay, well, maybe just send an email out that we know.
The email that you sent out was great.
Yeah.
That way we had a clue, but just that one.
Yeah.
We never knew whether we ran out of salt or whether...
Oh, yeah, and we were lucky enough that we didn't get hit with as much as they were saying, and I didn't follow up because we were pretty lucky. I should have followed up. Yeah, I will follow up in the future.
Yeah, just send an email out saying we're having a meeting, we're covering everything, be at peace.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So Debbie, do you have anything?
Tonight.
Okay. Oh, I do want to clarify, I was reading the minutes from the meeting on that, about the 75% merit evaluation, and I just want to make sure that we are all on the same page on these salaries. The per hour raise wasn't really a question, but we made the motion, and I don't even think the minutes are quite clear what monies are available for the merit evaluations only versus promotions. And I think we kind of talked on it, and we didn't clarify it, and I just want to make sure that Austin is aware what is included in that 0.75% merit evaluation, and what you guys believe it. Do you believe promotion raises are included in that 0.75% merit evaluation?
No, I didn't.
Yes.
Okay, see, I had yes and no already. See, so we need to, when I look at the amount, if I take 0.75% of the total salaries for 2016, I get about between $11,000 and $12,000. Do you agree with that? I took total salaries from here.
Okay. I mean, you can get that, but it's not, if you take 0.75 times this main number right here, you're going to get that number. But when you take it by when each person is going to get their 0.75, it's probably not going to equal that.
Okay, but I guess I was looking at it as that's your maximum amount. That's how I looked at it. The maximum amount for the merit evaluations would be the 0.75%. So the promotion amount, and I believe that that's what was included in the budget, but so my question is there another amount of money included in here for promotion raises? And if so, what is that amount?
There's not, we don't, in our budget, we don't line out in line, if there was an amount, it would be in a line item. So far, we only have a salaries portion. We got the salaries, and it doesn't say this is for promotion, this is for merit raise, this is for this. It's just salaries.
Okay, so when we directed you that the 0.75% merit evaluations is a set amount, and you have to stay within that, right? That's what we decided? That was the direction, that was what the council voted, is that the amount would be 0.75% of the salary amount for 2016, although the minutes weren't quite that clear. So I just want to clarify that it's 0.75% of the salary expense for 2016. But again, I want to make sure, do we believe there's another amount, that there is a maximum of promotion raises? Or do we want to?
Budget. I mean, you've got a total budget for salaries, so to me, that is
Well, we can't do that because, we have to operate at about 85% of the total budget. So we don't know
But I'm just saying
where
that cap is, you've got regular salaries, you've got the raises, you've got promotion, all that still has to fit within that.
So,
Now, however,
the
just-
salary amount for 2016, total salary amount for 2016 versus total salary amount for 2017, do you know what the difference is there?
The total salary amount for
2016 versus the total salary amount in the budget versus 2016? Do you know what the difference is?
No, not really.
Okay, so I think I just want to come back and make sure that we're all in agreement but are we on agreement that the 0.75% was strictly for merit evaluations? Is that our direction to Austin? Is that yes?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so now, just to figure out what amount of money we have available for promotion raises, we'll determine that and bring it to the next meeting. Does that make sense?
It does now.
Okay, I just want to know what the two, using Austin's word, pot of monies are, so that we know that this is the amount. And so when you approve something, like when you approve a promotion, we know that goes out of there and you're down to this amount, so that we know where the raise, or we can give you a total dollar amount raise and that's the maximum. I mean, you're smiling, I'm sitting here trying to figure out, because I don't think we were clear on what direction we gave you for the two components of the salary increases. And that's what I want to make sure is clear. Is that all right?
But I guess what the point I was trying to make is that we know what our current salaries are. We know what the increase was at the first of the year. You can project out what, if you give the merit increases we talked about at the anniversary dates, at the end of the year, based on our current staff, how much we're going to spend. I think the question mark is, if you do all that, are you at the 85% of the current budget?
Yeah,
if you're not, then you have an amount that you can give for promotions. If you don't,
right,
then it's
and I just would like to see that calculation and make sure we're all on the same page. Okay, so we'll do that for next time. And I'm sorry that I didn't bring that up today. I just thought of it. Okay, moving along. We'll move to standing committees. Street, water, wastewater.
I had a question on the street.
Okay.
We redid the bricks in front of Cromie's Market down here, which it is much better. Did we paint the lines back on, or did they paint them back on?
We painted.
Boy, did they not, they use a different paint or something? It's like it's gone
It didn't
2 weeks
stick.
later.
It didn't stick.
And like the handicap spot, it's like it's not even there.
It didn't stick.
I didn't know if that was something where we tried something new, because usually it seems like
I
it
think
holds up.
it was paint on hand. I think it was. I don't think we
It was
got
traffic
anything
paint
different.
that they used.
Wasn't it regular?
Yeah. I know
I
what
was
you're saying.
surprised.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It didn't stick.
Do you want to see if there's,
Spring project?
have you used that paint on brick before?
I'm sure he did. Yes. I don't think he would use anything else.
Sometimes when you put that brick down and you have sand,
that
has
could be-
oil in it, and oil on top of the bricks doesn't let the paint.
It could take all the other brick has been down for 100 years, so all that, the top of it's probably more paint ready.
Okay, so we might have to redo that, is what you're
It's
saying.
The brick itself though is much better.
Yes, the
Yeah,
brick's
there's no
fine.
water.
I think when they go back through and paint lines, they'll probably put that on the list. If I know there's a couple other things they need to paint, so we'll see get back on there.
Okay. Water, wastewater? Parks and Rec? Cemetery and Airport? Police and Fire?
Are we gonna talk about the tasers and police and fire?
Do you want to carry talk about it, or?
Yes, I can talk about the tasers. Currently, unless you want to talk about it.
I didn't know if that's why you were here.
She's here to answer any questions I can. I will vouch for that. We do attach is a quote from Taser, and Right now, we have outdated equipment. We've been working off of outdated equipment for a little while now, trying our best. So we are looking to replace all tasers. So attached is a quote for, I believe, what was it, 10,000? $935. For tasers. And basically, we're updating all our equipment so we can be able to use the tasers.
So the tasers would come out of the MER, and then the warranty chief said would come out of the special law fund?
Yes.
Do we determine what we're gonna do with the old ones? That was a, remember, topic
We
of
can't do
discussion.
anything. I don't think
Do we
we can do
destroy
anything.
them? Or do they take like?
I thought he said send them back in.
I was gonna say, do they give us
Yeah.
like a 5% or something?
They might.
I mean, they might have some use for them.
Well, if that's, I mean, I think that's maybe the best case scenario right there, is sending them back in.
Send them back in if we get a credit?
Yeah.
Hallelujah?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Otherwise,
Otherwise, we give them to
we're
the
throwing them
kids.
away.
I would entertain a motion.
Move to approve the purchase of tasers in the amount of $10,935.03 to come out of MER.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0, and then the warranty?
Move to approve the warranty for the tasers, to be paid out of the special law fund in the amount of, $2,977.50.
Is there a second? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0 on both accounts. Admin and finance. Appointments and wages. On page 40, first we need to approve new terms, the 3-year terms on the Convention and Tourism Committee for Wayne Cruzy and Ricky Bikeman and Kenny Sells. And they'll run from a term of January 2017 to January 2020.
Where do you see that at?
I'm giving it to you. We, Wayne, after that, then we can approve him being chair, but we need to make sure he's on the committee first. And all 3 of those, they are continuing on, their terms expired.
Ricky, Wayne,
And Kenny Sells to Convention and Tourism for 3-year terms.
I'll make a motion, we approve Ricky Bikeman, Wayne Cruzy, and Kenny Sells for 3-year terms on Convention and Tourism Committee.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, 8-0. And now we can approve Wayne Cruzy to be the chair and Barb Caper to be the vice chair for the Convention and Tourism Committee.
Move to approve Wayne Cruzy as the Convention Tourism Chair and Barb Kafer as the Vice Chair.
Second it.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0. And one more appointment would be Dave Richardson, his, on the Kester Block Advisory Board. It would be for a 3-year term, and it would be for January 2017 to January 2020. He served on the board, and I think his input is crucial to knowing what needs to be done in the Kester Block.
I'll make a motion, we approve Dave Richardson for the Kester Block Advisory Board for a 3-year term from 2017 to 2020.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0. Thank you very much. All right. City Attorney, do you want to discuss the next item since you're here?
Yes, and I guess I want to start with making a quick revision as I'm reading through what I wrote just now. I refer to it as a commercial lease. It's a residential lease. There's very little difference, and the differences as it pertains to this memo is the statute section is a little different. It's not 2501. It's under the Kansas Residential Landlord and Tenant Act. It's a separate part of Chapter 58 in the statutes. The substantive part of it doesn't really change, though. Notice requirements. So the city is still in compliance with the statute. If it chooses to proceed, it would proceed under Chapter 61 still. So that goes unchanged. So I just wanted to be clear. That might have been confusing as you were reading through it. The lease, obviously this is a residential agreement that was entered into by the city and the tenant. So with that said, I'm happy to answer any questions anybody might have. As it states, I don't have a recommendation. I don't think that's what I was asked to do, give a recommendation. So if that's your question, that'll be my answer. Yeah.
You're on your own.
But certainly any legal or factual, facts that apply to the law, I can try to answer that too at this point.
So right now, he's delinquent 4 months for a total of $1,700.
Yeah.
More than that now, but if you
That
go to
include-
January.
That includes January, because he paid for 2 months. He paid for August and September, so what's due is October, November, December, and now January.
Okay, well, having
And,
experience,
Excuse me?
I said, having experience in this area, I recommend that we go forward with eviction. If he can't pay $425 a month, he's not going to be able to pay the outstanding balance plus the ongoing 4 1/4. He's had opportunities to answer Craig's letter. He won't even communicate with us. I think we need to begin immediately with the eviction.
Where exactly is this apartment? Above which building?
Above the main dish.
Main dish in the old Sandy's Pantry, the pottery place.
that
It's
the
got the
old
bay
Masonic
windows that
temple?
look out over the...
No, it's where
east.
Rudy Kramer, Rudy Kramer used to live.
It's got the bay windows that look out over the Kester Gardens.
It's a large
Is it
apartment.
2,500 square feet or something? It's $425. It's not
It's
a
a
bad
great
deal.
rent. That's a great.
When I move in,
So just so you know, Craig does have confirmation that he received the letter, and city staff did try to call him today and left notice that we would be discussing it tonight to give him the opportunity to come and talk to us. And they have made several, tried to contact him and has not had any response, and he's not here tonight.
how long has he been renting?
2015.
I was trying to remember what...
That's what, he's been, a good resident all along, has he, Debbie? Paid on time all along? We've never had to chase him for the rent? And now all of a sudden, he gets this far behind and won't communicate? Something's gone wrong somewhere. But like I say, when people get this far behind in their rent, they cannot continue to pay. It's not like, well, this is what you owe and you can pay us a little at a time. His rent goes on too. He'll have February to pay next month and March. And if he hadn't been able to pay the last months, he isn't going to be able to catch up and continue to pay current rent. And if he had every opportunity to speak and we've given him proper notification and he has refused to communicate, to give us any information whatsoever, or try to make some arrangement, then I think it's incumbent upon us to just proceed. We need to get another resident in there who will pay. I don't understand why he wouldn't show us the respect of communication, especially since he's been in there 2 years.
Longer, I think. This lease was a continuation from...
2015
He's been in
was?
there for longer.
See, so I don't understand. We should have had a relationship with this person so that he would at least respond to us when he knows we have to make a decision.
So with that being said, do you want to go ahead and make a motion to direct the city attorney to draft and file a petition of eviction with the Marshall County District Court?
I have a question about that. What is the limit in small claims court? This is already up to $1,700, and there'll be probably another month involved by the time we get this filed, right? What is the limit in small claims court? Which means there would not be attorney fees. Attorneys are not allowed in small claims court. It's the people's court. Is it 5,000? Is it 3,000?
Well, let's see. What is that limit? I apologize for not knowing, and
That's okay.
in my defense, I don't know it because the reason you stated, I'm not in small claims. There is a threshold that's pretty low. And I don't have any experience or know of evictions happening in small claims. I guess it doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't.
Really? That's all we ever used in Texas.
My-
We didn't let it
my-
get 3
my
months
cons-
behind the
My
latest
concern is,
That
this
was
is again without
5,000.
looking into the statute more, is, so it falls under chapter 61 of the forcible detainer, the eviction part of it, not the monetary obligation, the rent. And I'm unsure that if you can do that in small claims. I don't know that it's even possible, but I could be wrong. I'm certainly happy to look into that if the council, wants me to, for the reasons you stated.
Okay.
Vicki,
Well,
I mean, I get that.
I had reason to look into that just recently.
Yeah.
And I think that eviction, I
You
think there's
can,
eviction
under in
process
small
through
claims, and
there.
that may be.
And I think there's paperwork, there's forms, which I think to back that up in small claims.
Well, what does it cost for you to do this? To draft and file the petition?
Well, whatever time it takes, which it wouldn't be much. I'm fairly versed in landlord-tenant stuff in my own private practice. But there would be obviously the cost if I were the one to appear.
Well, and he'll have to too.
I'm trying to think if there's an alternative way to do that. Because certainly the appearance date, the answer date, it varies from county to county, how they do that. I know some counties, they'll call you. For instance, Dickinson County, we don't have to appear. They'll call us if the defendant appears, and we can do it by basically telephone appearance as
That'd be nice.
representing the plaintiff. I don't know about Marshall County, if they require a personal appearance regardless of if the defendant appears or not on the answer date. That's, not the important one. It's if the defendant appears at the answer date and it gets set for a trial within that 8 days before a judge, it's that trial date where you're presenting evidence and all that. But so I guess what I'm saying is I'm happy to look into having local counsel be ready to appear, try to find some local counsel if the city would want me to do that, to save the cost of the travel. But again, you got to weigh the costs, I guess, of all that.
Does that go to magistrate or does that go to district court? I know it gets filed through the clerk of the district court, because
Right.
all filings do that here on county level.
Magistrate, I'm sure,
Magistrate?
because it's chapter 61.
Well, since we've already delayed it for 4 months, I'm just in the process to get it done.
Yeah, we're not going to get this money. We're not going to recover this. So the whole thing is, but we're going to have to go through court to get him out, to regain possession. He's not going anywhere till we proceed.
And it seems like we want to get it done
We have
right
to.
away so we can get a new renter.
So we need to proceed immediately.
Excuse me?
I said it'd take about 3 months.
Oh, it will? Will it take that long to get something in district court?
No, it would not. The statutes on landlord-tenant is purposely expedited. That 8 days is very quick to have an answer and then immediately set it for a trial. It's for that very reason, so it cannot languish.
You've already served him the notice and given him an opportunity to answer, so that's all we have to do. At this point, we can file, right? We don't have to serve him another 10-day notice.
Correct.
Yeah.
The city's done what it needs to do.
Right.
It could file a petition tomorrow if it chose to, as the landlord.
Does anyone might make that motion?
I'll make a motion for the city attorney to proceed with legal action for eviction of the aforementioned real estate.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0. And this kind of caught me a little bit unaware. I don't look at the cash receipts every month to make sure everybody is paying. But will you let us know if someone, gets 60 days behind instead of 120 days behind?
Well, there was...
Is
it
everyone
wasn't a
else
complete-
current?
It wasn't a complete month. I mean, it would go in spurts, like chunks here and there, and...
Is everyone else current?
Yes,
In the
yes,
Kester Block?
as far as I know.
All right. Anything else?
Nothing for me.
Okay, I don't have any reason for an executive session. Oh, I do need to know, did everybody turn in their evaluation forms for me to condense?
Evaluation
Okay,
to the mayor.
condense. I guess I'll have to condense that.
And my squirrel vote to the city administrator.
All right.
I need that.
Okay, regarding roundtable, my only comment is that I was very glad to read in the notes about, and thankful to hear about all the city staff did in preparation of the ice storm, even though it didn't hit, about the fueling and checking the generators to know that they were on top of it, and so I was very pleased to read that. And I think our city needs to know that that all goes on behind the scenes, even whether it's needed or not. So thank you for city staff. And that is my only comment for tonight. Keith?
I don't have anything.
Bill?
Yeah, I do. Above where the old Masonic Lodge used to be, a person asked me if the city would be willing to rent that out with them doing all the remodeling and putting the business upstairs.
Where?
There's no electricity or anything up there.
I know that, and so does he.
I think they should bring an option to council.
I can see if they can actually do it.
That's what I told him. I said, you'd probably need plans and discuss it with somebody.
It's actually a beautiful area, and I would love to see someone use that.
Yes. Agreed.
So if somebody has some ideas, I know part of it is accessibility.
Yeah, the stairs are very steep.
I said it'd probably need an elevator, and the other thing was that he wanted to take he wanted to take all the rent out the first couple of years on the money that he spent putting
To
up.
improve it? Well, he could bring a proposal. Would it go to the Kester House Advisory Board? Yeah. So,
It'd
I'm
be,
sorry,
I mean,
Kester Block.
for something like that, I mean, I wouldn't think that'd be out of the question if they could prove
Oh,
everything.
this is somebody that already has a business here.
Anybody that
And
would
he
complete
employs
the
about
task.
8 people.
Right. Well, I mean, basically, personally, I would ask, they have the plans and they have, and then the need for the abatement of the rent, I guess that would be. But, I mean, yeah, if somebody's willing to put in the proper work.
Improvements.
Yes.
Right.
I think it's definitely something to negotiate, talk about.
Okay.
So I would love to see somebody use that space. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay, Darlene?
Well, big thanks to the city staff for keeping everybody safe on the streets. And this is really under Parks and Rec, but Dale and Austin you went to, didn't you?
Yeah.
To the meeting on
Ash Borer, Emerald Ash Borer, yep.
and got information.
Yes.
But it's not in Nemaha County yet, so.
No, it's not in
We're still
Nemaha, it's in Atchison County, and that's why we were visiting in Atchison County, as they were talking about what actually was happening there. And basically, the whole theme of it, if it's not there in your place yet, it will be there, and it's best to prepare for it.
So are you gonna prepare something? for us?
We're gonna, yeah, I mean, I gotta find that survey of trees, which will be extremely beneficial. And one
I'm
of the.
sure Bill Nelson has
I
that.
have it too. We have
You
it.
have it?
Yeah, it's somewhere in here, yeah. Yeah, I just haven't had the time to go look for it. And it's not that we can prevent it, it's
We can prepare for it?
preparing for it, and the option, it was really more how are you gonna slow this down and reduce the damage. It's going to be here. It's gonna get here. It's gonna get here. They're going to be in the trees. Now, how are you going to reciprocate, basically, is the idea.
So you'll give us bring back something later?
I hope to, yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Anything else, Darlene?
No.
Brad? Todd?
Yeah, a couple things. We got a little bit of an example of what a thriving arts community we had the last couple weekends here in Marysville with the Replay Lounge shows up here at the Legion. I think that was a kind of a big draw. I know a lot of people came in from out of town. It's a good fundraiser for them, but really showcases the talent we have. And I think it's good that we maintain the Arts Center and we'll do a lot of the things we do to help support, because it's one of the things that makes us an outstanding community.
I agree.
Yeah, I know you were there the first night. I was there that night as well. The only other thing I had was, do we know at all what's going on with the old Casey's lot? I wouldn't care much, except for there's a bunch of glass and metal shards that are washing down into the city's right-of-way, because it looked like they hired Bubba's, awning removal company out of Arkansas to come cut that thing out. They just felled it like a tree and hauled it off, but they left it. I mean, I don't know if they don't have push brooms.
They were just taking out the awning, and they were supposed to be removing the tank. That's as far as they called like 3 times a day for a week, asking if we had any permits they required to remove the tank. It'd be the same person calling every time, but other than that, I don't know. There's nothing else that's been said.
Yeah, I mean, the mud and stuff's one thing, but you drive by there at the right time of day, it just glints because there's so much glass. I mean, it's literally all just washing down into 14th Street, and then it goes down onto Broadway.
Ask Casey's?
I don't think it'd have been that hard for them to clean it up.
Yeah, I think they have to put,
the
bags along there to control that
erosion.
runoff.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's not even, it looks crummy, but beyond that, it's more an issue of running off, so.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else, Tom?
That's it.
Vicki?
I have nothing today, thank you.
Denny?
Nothing.
Just
Kevin?
like to thank the city crews for the job they did in keeping the streets salted and traffic flowing with what ice we did have, so.
All right. With that being said, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.